Akira really makes strides here at the International. We always have high expectations, but they always fall just a little short. But considering what the draft is right now, I'm so surprised Farmers wasn't picked up earlier.
Os Reis de Latam, the kings of Latam as they're known, had to get that last pick, Faramis. Even the analysts are wondering, why is Faramis not being picked? Hell, I think LaFell said, maybe Vexana. Was it Mirko said maybe Vexana? Because that's how far Faramis has fallen, man.
I don't know. I personally think that Faramis is still pretty relevant in this meta as of right now, right? But there are certain conditions that need to be met. But against a lineup of EVOS Glory, where everybody has some form of an AoE, a disgusting amount of initiation, it can get really brutal really fast.
They got a good amount of comfort picks. Again, Brands, the king of the marksmen, picking up his signature Claude, who's able to defend for days. One of the few reasons why they went as deep as they did in the last MPL ID playoffs. Of course, you have Anavel on his lane. Petra, man, as good as the Kaltizi Ling was in the prior match, this is also a thing of beauty.
Honestly, I would have liked to see him have played the Hayabusa instead, because I've seen him play Hayabusa before, and when he gets like that one kill, this team makes magic happen. Somehow they get that one, and they turn it into two, and now Gusta Lagusta has to deal with a full level 4 Anavel. He makes it out, but he doesn't want to commit the ult just yet.
Something else to note, you're looking at RRQ Akira's lineup. There have been word in the grapevine that maybe Luis isn't playing. Maybe it's Blink, their ever-loyal sixth man. But no. Here he still is, the Brazilian heartbreaker, back on the world stage, playing on that Grok, and he's just holding down the fort, man. Usually when you're a Grok, you're hyperactive when you're rotating, when you're checking in on the opponent's jungle. Here is just, yeah, I'll wait for you, Saigen. I'll wait for you to get your wave back in. Hey, Dreams, how you doing?
Dreams is having the time of his life, right? Just fighting against the Grok to try and hit level 4, but worst yet, Clawhood ends up missing a good amount of EXP, doesn't hit level 4, but we look at the top side, right? Anavel, he's able to steal whatever camps that he wants because there's such a strong freeze on the top side of the map, and now Saigen, oh no, he walked into the wall, pops down the Nether Realm to keep himself alive.
That is unfortunate. Now Luis spots Anavel. Let's go. I was just about to say, what was that, Gideon? What was that fumble? Did he miss out on the Shadow Stampede, hence why he had the Netherrealm himself into surviving?
I mean, he might have fat-fingered the Purify into the wall.
Butterfingers.
Butterfingers. Hey, look, I mean, I'd be nervous on my well, technically not even their first match, essentially, in terms of experience, but on an international stage like that, and especially playing on the Amazon stage, it's a little daunting.
It's huge.
Yeah.
You feel like a little speck in this amazing stage that is the possibly biggest we've ever had in the history of our esport. Down bottom, check it out. Takash, Astro Thunder, pushing away Fluffy. I like that lineup, actually. I like that matchup. As the CC, I'm pretty confident. Look at this, a rotation, the diversion by Dreams and Clawkun.
Hey.
Blasting Gusta Lagusta. Minute 0, he hasn't had anything, man. He's struggling.
He may be struggling, but in terms of gold, right, he's not too far away. Hold on. The wall trash from Luis, and he's pushed out position. He quickly flickers out of there, and now with the power of nature, he should be all right. But Brands, he just uses BMI, manages to go back in position. Great positioning from Dreams, just covering the battle mirror image.
The reason why they call him the Indonesian Nightmare. Always putting up where they need him. Interestingly, that was a good trade of ults. Battle spells, though, I think that's where EVOS Glory won out. This is uncharacteristic of these two teams, Gideon. Because look, 4 minutes in, second turtle almost up, no kills from EVOS Glory, who loves fighting, and from RRQ Akira, who loves to snowball. Neither of them able to find a grip.
Well, I do think, you know, this is very much in the playstyle of RRQ Akira. However, I will say for EVOS Glory, this is, you know, rather interesting. Usually they play around heavily around Brands. This time around, people are able to express themselves. Like, look at this, Luis. He's getting surrounded by all the members, forced to wild charge out of there as King and Gusta Lagusta are trying to claim back the space. And now EVOS Glory is like, it's totally fine. You can sit on top of the turtle first if you want.
And they're delaying this take. So far, I'm not so sure if that's to their benefit or if Annabelle is just saying, you know what, take your time, guys. I'm still on my purple.
I think it's most beneficial for Brands because he can walk down to the mid lane, pick up some gold, go back to the top lane, and lose basically nothing in his lane, and they can just chill out, right? EVOS Glory, as much as they want to play around Brands, they know that he needs resources, and they'll create some space to get him those resources.
And as you just read, it's definitely for EVOS Glory now. All five just wailing away at the turtle. Another one secured here, but this time going over to EVOS Glory. So they're one turtle apiece still on that pacifist run, Gideon. No kills for either side.
Not yet. Oh, whoa, that was very dangerous. And now in the mid lane, hopefully, okay, it breaks down, as you were saying.
Takash has yet to leave his lane, man.
I mean, I would say he is a little slow on the rotation, but then again,
he doesn't have to.
I mean, the problem is that he hardly, it's difficult for him to push waves, man. It's Terizla, man. You can't outpush that guy.
But he's winning. Look at that turret.
I mean, that's only because they made that initial rotation, right? Like, while everybody was at turtle, we see this fight down on the bottom side of the map where Takashi chunks out Annabelle. As mentioned during the oh wait, Louise, great Purify coming in from Clockhoop, but Dreams will still die. The Implosion does buy a little bit of time, but Brands, he can only do so much. A lot of AoE, great splash from the wait, the TP, Louise spots it out, Clockhoop, he whips, he throws it the wrong way, and Fluffy's here in the middle of it. He's trying his best as the Netherrealm pops, and now he's only just begging to survive. Please let me go. 1 HP, Body of Smith once again saves his life.
An absolute unit, thick with 14 Cs. At this early on, what's he building? It's a War Axe and a Warrior, but what?
I mean, that's what we've been hearing from the panelists. War Axe, Terizla, they just go hand in hand. Now you get all the benefits of the Spell Vamp on top of the War Axe passive, and now Takashi is going to crack open tier 1 bot side.
Astro Thunder just keeping up the pressure. He is doing work, man, and because of that, they're about 1,000 gold ahead here. That's amazing. I don't know if RRQ Akira knows that right now is the best time to strike. As soon as they hit the 8-minute mark, oh, Louise, holding out for it. All right. As soon as they hit the 8 to 9-minute mark, that's when they should really bear down on EVOS Glory. Because if y'all watched any MPLID playoffs, they're capable of coming back. Oh, no!
No, the timing! It's so bad. Gusta Lagusta just walked into the brush. He didn't know that the diversion was going to happen there. But King does secure the turtle in the meantime. And that's the final turtle of the game. Dreams, he's caught out of position. Pulled back even by Sagan with a combo. Wait, hold on. The implosion to turn things around. And now Fluffy with a penalty zone. The yin-yang reactions just won't stop. The Netherrealm keeps them alive. But it doesn't mean that they get to walk away. Clawkun finds another kill.
Whoa, amazing, the turnaround by Dreams. When you thought he was the prey, he turned into a predator and just, with a flick of a wrist, took down 2 members from RRQ. Man, because of that, the conversion is through the roof. Look at this. Now, it's them up by about 500 gold.
I mean, they've equalized. They've equalized the economy between the two. And just to add on, Dreams, honestly, he's being that nightmare you were talking about. He's the guy that you close your eyes, you open. Oh, wait, what's that in the corner of my room?
And it's him. He's sitting
just standing there menacingly,
just waiting to hit you with an implosion. And next thing you know, you're 3 men down and you're about to lose a Lord, which, by the way, is about a minute away from now. What's the items looking? Dude, I am afraid of how EVOS Glory aren't really bearing down on Takash. Like, they better watch out for Astro Thunder because all of this space that they're giving him might bite him in the butt later on, especially if you find Takash and Sagan in the same spot. Like, we haven't really seen that yet.
Yeah, we haven't seen them just yet. And I think, you know, once we've I mean, the map is a little unlocked for now, and maybe Takashi is going to be able to get into the middle of those fights, but let's talk about the lead, because as much as they equalize, Annabelle is significantly ahead of King. Similarly to how Takashi is significantly ahead of Fluffy.
And I think that's fine because, oh wait, we'll talk about it later. Fluffy's in trouble!
He can't get out of this one. The poor man just has to close his eyes and just let it happen.
They folded that boy in half. I mean, Body of Smith withstanding, it doesn't matter. You can't do that against 5 angry Brazilians.
I mean, I think he just doesn't want to lose out on that flicker, to be perfectly honest. I think that EVOS Glory can really drag out this particular fight because they're depending heavily on Louise to find the engage.
Yes, they can. And now it's all about the lane control. Conceal here by Dreams. Can they force something? They let go. Little Wanderer scored by RRQ Akira. The Lord very low!
He's gonna try to step steal. Annabelle gets it! The Nether Realm keeps them alive! And that just means that Dream sacrifices life for hire as Clawhood cannot get out of the situation. This is about to get really bad as now the flicker and the wall charge comes through. Not enough follow-up damage. RRQ Akira back off. They're happy with just 2.
And I think EVOS Glory just really thread the needle there, stealing away the Lord from RRQ Akira. I think both teams just walk away saying, whew!
Yeah. It's, well, I mean, it's a little stressful, I'm not gonna lie, and it looks like it's gonna be the Queen's Wings purchase for the side of Fluffy. He wants to engage, and he wants to maintain his kill threat.
He wants to keep going, man. He wants to keep going, and I think it's that pressure. It's an all-in engage from EVOS Glory, where RRQ Akira don't mind if the fight goes longer, which is interesting. It's a switch-up. It's a switch-up between the dynamic, because earlier on, it was EVOS Glory who wanted to go longer, but now RRQ Akira are hoping, hey, can we slow down a bit? Can we let this Lord simmer? Because we're better like that.
Yeah, let's just let it cook in the slow pot in the hot pot just for a little bit longer at this point in time. I think that RRQ Akira, once we get into the mid game, like Sagan is going to be a legitimate threat in these fights, considering that EVOS Glory kind of want to like engage at the same time. So here we go, mid tier 1 now under threat. King, he's able to tank the damage for now, and it looks like it's enough to deter the rest of EVOS Glory.
Hold up, get in. I just noticed. Annabelle rocking the Warcry just now picked up the BOD. Not a single kill just yet. What's going on?
He's been power farming, right? And to be fair, he is significantly ahead of King. Last we checked, he was 1K ahead. Here comes the wild charge. Oh, it actually connects. He's trying to get on out of there, Brad. He cannot keep on attacking Takashi. And now with the Nether Realm, all of it being broken at the same time. Sagan is still alive, looking for the opportunity to get back onto it. But Annabelle is able to take out King and Gusta Lagusta in one fell swoop. Not close enough, it seems.
Brands was so expensive. It took all of RRQ Akira and Tekash just putting a beat on him. Maybe 5 seconds of pure yo-yo action. Look at this. We'll see it in the replay once more. Look at the back line. That's where my eyes were all this time. The huge collapse. There really wasn't much. Again, very ult reliant, very all-in explosion from EVOS Glory. RRQ, maybe go one more time. That should change the tone.
I would imagine that it would. Oh my goodness, it looks like a majority of this leaf from EVOS Glory actually is from this Ling.
Yep, check it out. So far, again, I think they're in the right spot. They are where they need to be. Again, I mentioned this like 2 or 3 hours ago. As a utility jungler, your items are just naturally cheaper.
Yeah.
So King doesn't mind. He's a king that sits on a paper throne, but it's a throne nonetheless.
Hey man, that paper mache is slowly getting coated with gold eventually, right? Super low kill count game considering the compositions we're seeing from both of these sides, right? 4 to 6.
It's pure macro.
It's pure macro.
Brazil and Indonesia have picked up on the amazing macro. I correct myself. Latam, that is the kingdom that RRQ are carrying, man. Not just a country, but a whole region. At least a dozen countries.
At least a dozen countries in there, all combined. Annabelle now completing the endless battle. Now going to have some true damage to really start applying the hurt onto people like Luis and even some of the squishier targets like Gusta Lagusta. At this point in time, how long can they actually hold this dance? Because it's getting low. It's getting real low.
All right, that's a 5th left on to the Lord. The conceal by the Indonesian Nightmare. Looking for an engage. Here he goes.
He's going to find
close.
it. Great timing. Steal from Annabelle. The implosion perfectly timed as Sagan tries for the Nether Realm, but it's already too late. And it's going to be the Blade Tempest taking out Sagan with the backline. Brad, so expensive. Annabelle has to carry this, has to secure these kills as Clawhood takes it. Doesn't mind. You can try and outplay this. Gusta Lagusta at 1 HP will try his best. Finch poise. He doesn't find him. He doesn't actually want to go because Takashi, the bodyguard, keeping him in check. Literally 1 HP. Gusta, you got to try. No, he backs away. They let him live. They let him live to send the message.
All right, 2 for 3. Plus the Lord going over to EVOS Glory. Again, I'd say this is very, very scarily similar to the very first Lord.
It is. It does look very scarily similar. I mean, I like now that RRQ Akira, they're very together. Last time, it was kind of all over the place, but now...
together.
Yeah, they are. They target acquisition. They
Yeah.
all are going for the same targets each and every time. If they spread out their damage, I don't think they would have gotten the same results.
That's right. So now they just have to be more together.
They have to be more than just one.
They have to be a singularity.
It's gonna get to that point, right?
A Latin American singularity.
The Latin American singularity.
Because
I like that.
They're so good at it, right?
It's true.
And anyone from Gusta to Tekash to Saigon could have hunted down Annabelle.
Is anybody going to protect Fluffy here? Are they just going to... Oh, Fluffy, he's going with it. And now, with the penalty zone, NetherRealm already comes out. They've already lost their temp HP. They got to get on out of there. But now Annabelle in the middle of 4. The conceal comes out. He finds 2. They give him one more. No, he's out. But now in the backline, Tekashi as well. So close, but Brands, he survives this time. The big difference maker is here.
Gideon, they did not heed our words. They were less than together there. They were pretty spread out. Again, one more look. They were together where it mattered for Annabelle, and then they were spread apart, dispersed when they couldn't have afforded to. EVOS glory divided and conquered, man. 10-10. Say what you will about that scoreboard, but the map has turned blue. The EVOS fam are happy.
Yep, and look at Annabelle. He's just tanking damage just for fun. He knows that
I can hear the theme song now, man. I can hear the EVOS fam theme song.
Oh, boy. I mean, at this point, I think still, RRQ Akira, they still have an opportunity, but they need somebody that can force out that Bladed Tempest as early as possible and still take care of Brand. So, hold on. Target
the
acquisition.
Indonesian Nightmare is on a roll, dude. He forced with a single... to be fair, he flickered, and Implosion enforced such a response.
And that's what you want, right? That's what we want to see from EVOS Glory. And hopefully they can keep on rinsing and repeating the process. Maybe if they can buy 100 seconds or so, but Lord already spawned.
Okay, to be fair, 100 seconds is plenty time in the world of MLBB. Look at the ults and the resources from RRQ Akira as they make their way to the Lord, approaching half health. King rolling out like the Autobots.
Oh, and he's trying his best. Where's the NetherRealm? It's going to be popped soon, but now coming back in with the Lycan Pass, they're holding it for as long as possible. They've already broken everything. They lost their temp HP so fast, and now Annabelle breaking apart the backline. Lycan Pass keeps him alive. Oh, great movement from Gusta Lagusta as he takes out Annabelle. Brands TPs into the backline with the help of Clockwood to find the trade.
As beautiful as it could have been for Gusta Lagusta clean house, they forgot that the king of marksmen, Brands, is still here, and he's the one who comes in claiming their heads, and that just straight up opens up this Lord. Annabelle's 15 out, give or take. The fact that King is down makes us all the more an EVOS Glory Lord.
Yep, EVOS, again, they've done a really good job at securing these neutral objectives for a majority of this game. But worst yet, I think that RRQ Akira are banging their heads against the wall. It's like, what do we do against Annabelle? Like, he almost guarantees jumps in after the temp HP from NetherRealm and gets 2.
And that's why I think we get the answer to why do we not see Faramis. Prior to this matchup, Faramis only showed up 3 times across all Stream A games. We used to see Faramis in 100% of games, Gideon. That's true. This is a new age.
It is a new age, and it's more surprising that it only... it's even more surprising that it only takes one person to cause that much destruction. Like Clockwood and the rest of the team decided, we're going to flank. Now, here we go. Lord already cracking down on towards that crystal. They're going to take their time. Ooh, interesting angle for the wild charge here is Fluffy trying to get... the penalty zone absolutely whipping. They're out of there.
That's an ult for an ult. A good trade if I were you. Listen up. RRQ Akira can still defend. And I think, given their lineup, this is a good position for them. This is an okay position for them. I would rather be RRQ Akira's comp than be EVOS Glory's comp stuck in their base.
Also true, their high ground defense is very nice, but RRQ Akira is eventually going to come to a point where they're going to have to walk out of that base, right?
Yep, there is a fresh amount of jungle for a take-in, and it's out of their base that they can find these sneaky wild charges, which has been a while since we've seen Luis do something with that.
Yeah, especially when Luis are top in the damage charts as well, right? That's why there are just so many conditions that need to be met. Hold on. Looks like the rest of RRQ Akira just going to squat up at this point. No point trying to split push.
Yeah, I think they're just respecting the fact that there might be a huge diversion play from Claw-kun. Again, folks, you might be confused. Louise, Louis. We'll call them the player names, for sure. Unless we're specifically talking about the kits, then that's when the heroes come up. So far, so good. Again, that's a fully built CC we're looking at. And then just one more for Saigen to hit the threshold.
It's about to happen, King. He notices, but he's able to tank a good amount of damage. Always finds two! And now they're starting to take the space. They're not giving them opportunity. As Takashi is already in backline. Fluffy's trying to slow it down with the penalty zone. Netherrealm finally comes out, and now Brands is dead. Saigen is going to keep on pushing, and here comes Annabelle. Their biggest problem. Winds of Nature is out for Gusta Lagusta. Blade of Tempest comes out, finds one in the kill, and Saigen says, no, you don't have the magic defense. Get out of here.
For the first time in, I'd say, 5 or 6 minutes, RRQ Akira actually get a winning trade. They give up Gusta Lagusta for Fluffy and Brands. Thank you very much, or I guess, gracias.
Gracias. Oh, man. Honestly, these teams are like dead even. It's 14-14. We're 20 minutes into the game, the longest one we've had so far.
Obrigado, Portuguese. But you're right, it's amazing how both teams are playing on different axes, and they're still trading to the level that they are. Look, oh my God, what a zoom in from our Amazon Arena stage cam. 9-1-2. I almost forgot that we were looking at Annabelle at what, like 7-8 minutes? 0-0-0, and now he's at 9-1-2.
Dude, Annabelle's portrait is so funny. It's so funny.
So
he's like,
Annabelle.
the difference between you and me is about 3 inches.
It's so Annabelle.
It's so Annabelle.
He's known as the jokester for EVOS Glory. He was scouted by the EVOS fam when he started playing at 14. And now he's a ripe core. Check it out. They're starting up the Lord one more time. King trying to pull it out a little closer to their side of the map. Dreams spotted here by Luis. They trade blows. And so far, oh, this is why a Ling is so dangerous when he's in meta. He does more than just clean house. He cleans up the map. Almost with impunity, Gideon. He's able to go split from side lane to side lane.
And the worst part is they also have the combination of Claw-kun and as well as Brands. Lodi just TPing the Claude up to the top side of the map and the BMI back.
Yep, the world's longest BMI. It's dirty. It's almost broken. And now we're waiting for a fight to actually break out. Lord here approaching half health. That's one of the things you actually get with a Grok as well. With a Guardian's Barrier, you're able to control and cordon off the Lord. Oh, the Shadow Stampede with a pull!
Oh, he gets pulled tight on in. Takashi's doing some good damage, but does Fluffy end up, and well, he does end up using that Winter Crown to survive. I thought he might end up dying there, but...
And a tranche. A crown, there you go. And a flicker, I'm rather, sorry.
At the end of the day, right, nobody dies, and we all reset. The biggest problem for RRQ Akira is the fact that they're missing 2 inhibitors. EVOS Glory are like, hands off. We'll just let the game do its own thing.
Because they are in control of the map. They did penetrate top and bottom. So that's RRQ Akira with permanent damage that they constantly have to deal with. It's actually the onus on them to maintain and manage their waves. Lord here, now at 2/3 of its health. Claw-kun and Brands just wailing away at it. King with a slight pull. And yeah, this is where you can really feel RRQ Akira with the pressure on the map. Like, they're not able to make many moves.
They're just finger on the trigger, just waiting, just waiting. Come on, show yourself.
Yeah, they constantly have to put up a bishop or a knight next to their king. I mean, literally speaking, so that they don't get checkmate.
Here we go. Brands and Annabelle opting to try and, beat Takashi down. This does prompt a response from RRQ Akira to take them a little bit of control, but they notice that a majority of the EVOS members are still holding the mid lane just to ensure that they don't get flanked.
All right, Little Wonder. This is going to be very important for RRQ Akira to score. At least they have passive vision. Takashi now!
Wait, Gusta Lagusta is in the middle of that fight as well. Blade of Tempest is out. Does he have the Finch poise? It looks like he does. Takashi is going to start running down Brands, but here comes Gusta Lagusta. Tries to go on in, but Brands outplays him. Lycan pounds Winter Crown into this fool.
Okay, so this is what's painful about that last engage. Could have been amazing for RRQ Akira, but it's relatively low stakes for EVOS Glory because, again, they're more mobile on the map. So now RRQ Akira have to actually walk their way, march their way into the pit. Now Lord at less than half health.
Yep, Fluffy's in some trouble here. Winter Crown once again already activated. Ooh, great welcoming for Luis, but still creates an escape. Netherrealm is already out, and this might be the moment that they've been waiting for. Gusta Lagusta is chunked low, and Annabelle is going to look. Winter, Wind of Nature popped. He still goes down. Claw-kun is able to splash the damage into the the backline. Gusta and King are down. 1 minute death timers. And EVOS Glory, they've already got this Luminous Lord empowered, in a matter of fact. Annabelle just chasing them down.
Takash buying time, but there are just some things that another realm can't solve. Takash, Louise, Saigen, they have to defend for their lives. Guardian's Barrier up, just delaying the inevitable.
Oh, the splash damage. Claw could stop it, man. He's just harassing all of them. Penalty zone as well, shoving him even further out of the crystal. That's going to be GG. EVOS Glory in a tight game against RRQ Akira. Take game one.
Just under 25 minutes. In true EVOS Glory fashion, they took the scenic route, put on a show for the EVOS fam and everyone watching all around the world to take the first game.
Whew. Oh, that was a hot one. But it just goes to show, I mean, they needed a good amount of time.
And 25 minutes was all it took. I mean, GG well played still for the Kings of MPL Latam. Even with the whole Blink and Louise situation, it's like they never missed a beat.
It didn't feel like they missed a beat, but at the same time, they had the correct ideas to actually attack the EVOS draft.
Well, let's hear from our analysts as we go look back at the highlights for game one.
Even though RRQ Akira, they were very together, but they didn't exactly hit the singularity point. And it took 25 minutes, but EVOS Glory, they got it.
They really did, man. I think, you know, the question is for you guys, were you guys shocked at EVOS Glory's playstyle?
No.
Are you guys surprised? No, right?
No.
'Cause
Not at all.
I feel like this is just the normal EVOS Glory gameplay that we've always been seeing in MPL Indonesia. They've just been always with this kind of lineup, right?
Yep.
Layering, layering, layering. That's what they're good at. They're like a one trick that likes to layer, but they're really good at that one thing that they do.
They're onions. They have a lot of layers, and they make your opponents cry.
I would have thought of lasagna, but yeah, sure, onions.
Onions, man.
Yep.
EVOS Glory are just onions.
Yep. I think the MVP plays that I would say for the side of EVOS was when Brands went for the Winter Crown play that we've always just theorized about. Really, really good at utilizing that mechanic, that unique mechanic. And then Dreams and that last Lord Dance was able to just man up against the entirety of RRQ and use the implosion not for a setup, but to actually stop RQ from even getting vision onto the Lord, which was so instrumental to EVOS winning that.
I like how Gideon was like, yeah, try to go through this Winter Crown, fool.
Winter Crown, foo.
Oh,
You know,
so
shout
many
out-
Winter Crowns, by the way.
Yeah, so many Winter Crowns, and really show dividends in this game where you feel like you've got the upper hand and then they just turn things around. But gotta say, RRQ Akira, we were talking about the CC pick, but honestly, I felt like you did well.
Yeah, it did really, really well. I think we figured out in the game itself, we were talking about, you know, okay, the CC, usually we pick it up against tanky members, but in this particular situation, it's always great up against Annabelle, because Annabelle likes to go for the cross-map play, he likes to go for the mirroring and for the split pushes, so if you have someone there to match up against him and, you know, actually take the 1v1, the duel against him, it's really, really good.
It almost worked, but I think the itemization coming out from Fluffy as well as the entirety of EVOS Glory go wait for the Winter Crown, make it very difficult and very awkward for the CC to eventually have a nice late game. You can see that around the 16-18 minute mark, CC is already like hitting like critical mass and it's just being very difficult for EVOS Glory to deal with. But then EVOS Glory figured out, okay, there's a new meta item. Let's go for the Winter Crown, fool.
Winter Crown, fool. Speaking of which, we gotta look at the MVP because I gotta say, without even look at it, it's probably gonna be Annabelle. We gotta look at the Sony MVP of the game. Where highlights first, Annabelle. Mirko, talk about how Annabelle takes his time. He wants to get the farm, he wants to get the items, and then he's gonna get unleashed.
See, he's a very different player on Assassins, right? On Assassins, a lot of players tend to, especially after utilizing utility jungle for the longest time, they tend to kind of lose that assassin instinct. But for Annabelle, it's still just a very, I would say, selfish style. But it works as an assassin.
It works?
You want to be selfish on an assassin, and it works so well for Annabelle. For the most part, even in the regular season, it's so tough for a lot of teams to actually go up against EVOS because when usually you would think, you know, the assassins would actually come in to finish off the job, he sometimes in early game just farms. Even when everybody's low, he's like, nah, you know what? I'm gonna just take my time. I'm gonna farm up. And you can see from the itemization, that's exactly why he chooses to farm. He goes for a very, very greedy build in the Blade of Despair so that he can pull off those kind of big plays in the later stage of the game.
Yeah, 92%, 923 GPM and 68% kill participation. There was a point where he was, what, 7-0? 6-0?
8-0.
8-0.
shut down.
That's how good he was with this particular hero.
There you
And of course, we know for sure that the Ling is one of the strongest heroes out there. I think it is criminal for RRQ Akira to give both the Ling as well as the Lu Yi.
I mean, again, we got to talk about this because the Ling first pick, like you said, Wolf, it made it so a situation where it's kind of not good for them to pick up the Lu Yi itself. So perhaps that's the idea coming in from EVOS Glory. Once we pick up the Ling, we made it so that whatever mid laner that you're going to pick up is not going to be looking good. So perhaps that's the trap. And I kind of feel like RRQ Akira, they should see this coming now. The Ling is a problem.
Even though it's a trap, I feel like, again, they had so many different opportunities to go for the ban on the Lo Yi. Because in the second phase, they completely ignored it. The fact that they gave the Ling in the first phase, and it passed through the first phase is like, all right, EVOS were like, okay, we're just going to go for some other prios.
That's right.
But then they got another prio, so why not? Just add on to it.
I think overall the draft was with Faramis as well as the CC. It makes a lot of sense in the late game. Kind of good versus the Claude because you have the CC with the Vengeance as well as the Grok. However, the Lu Yi was definitely a problem, not because of the Lu Yi itself with the first skill, second skill, but this time it was the ultimates that really just made it difficult for them. You saw how Clockwood was able to utilize this hero to kind of psych the entirety of RRQ Akira. And we did say that Lu Yi is one of Clockwood's favorites.
It is.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing, folks. Like, you guys gave very good insights, but you guys are giving insights inside of the studio, inside of the game that we just saw. I kind of feel like we got to go to Eterna, our Aces ROG reporter, where she's looking to talk to Team Liquid. So, where are you at? What are you guys talking about?
Hey everyone, it's Eterna, and beside me we have Team Liquid Echoes JP. Now, that was your first ever match here for MSC, and it is on one of the largest scales and largest sizes of the international stage. How did you feel after that match?
We're so happy because our first game is 2-0 sweep, and this is our first time in Riyadh, so we're so happy to be here.
It was a very dominant match too, right? 2-0 against Twisted Minds. I'm pretty sure they are shaking right now in the group stage. But of course, one of the things that I really wanted to ask is the fact that Carl Teasy mentioned in an interview that he promised to bring you here, JP, with their team. Now that they brought you here, do you have any messages for them?
Thank you, bro. I hope we win this MSC 2024.
We hope you do too. Good luck as well coming forward, and we hope we get to see you in the knockouts. Thank you so much, JB, for your time.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the support.
All right, we're sending it back to the studio.
Thank you very much, Eterna. And I got to say, JP knows how to keep it sweet and simple. It's like, thank you. It's great. We love Riyadh. We love Riyadh. It's been amazing so far.
It really has, man.
Food is good.
I've been enjoying my experience.
Yep, Mali is great.
Mali is great, yeah.
I love it. I love all the
love
that I've tried. I love you.
I love you.
Now I'm uncomfortable. But the thing that I'm comfortable with, we talk about game number 1. It's going to be amazing. Do you guys feel we're going to see adjustments coming in from RRQ Akira for game number 2?
No, they're going to be picking up the same thing and going to play the same way. No, just kidding. I think
now that you say that, they might pick up the same thing. It's like, you know what? It's just an execution issue. The trap is fine.
Probably. But I think the best thing here is that just don't give a lot of comfort heroes for EVOS Glory. Claude as well as the Ling and Claude and Louis all together. They're just really just brands as well as Cloggins heroes. It's always criminal to give these kind of the champion teams their comfort pickups.
True.
Maybe just take away one and give out the other and answer it from then on.
Again, right, for EVOS Glory, the way that they can actually make this kind of composition work is, well, for the Assassins, they go for a winning lane in the XP. Right after that Terizla pick, they ban out 2 XPs. It was Yuzong in the Arlet this game. And then in the mid lane as well, picking up just a winning matchup in the mid lane. And they actually did that because of the Lo Yi being left open, and it was a fair missing Grok. Clear speed, yeah, fair missing Grok. But when it comes to that skirmish, trading power, it was EVO. And that's why they were able to create so much space for Annabelle to farm up. If any one of those lanes gets stopped by another winning matchup coming in from RRQ Akira, it would be a pretty solid way to adjust.
Simple question for the both of you. You only have one ban. Do you ban out the Louis or do you guys ban out the Ling?
Yeah, I would buy the Loi. Because Ling is a little bit manageable. I can go for the Tigreal. Loi amplifies the entirety of the team. Ling is just, as our good friends from the caster desk would say, singularity. Singular.
He's just
Yeah.
singular. He's the one. He's
Yeah,
Maybe he's just one with everything. Maybe he's like a pizza.
Yeah, but then again, Louis is very together, man. It kind of,
So for you, you would ban out the Louis. What about
Yes.
you, Mirko?
yeah, Loi. I
You
agree.
ban out the Louis?
I'll ban out the Loi too. I think even though I have been talking about the nerfs on the diversions, I think a lot of the teams, a lot of the players, the top tier players have been able to make it work. So
Yeah.
Loi just adds so much value onto the team. I think even the Claude, the setup that they had for the ambush up top was
Yeah.
because of the Loi diversion.
I would say Louis should get a therapist skin because I feel like that's what she is. She's just a therapist. Whenever people want to break apart, she's like, nah, fam.
More together.
More together.
together.
Very.
very together.
Even more together, make it into a singularity. Maybe that's why. I mean, I don't know. As Asians, we don't see therapists a lot. Maybe that's why Louis is very strong here.
That's why we
You
get
guys
a
see
Loi.
therapists?
No, I just rely on my Loi to keep it all
Yeah.
together.
What about you?
I talk to you. That's what I
You see,
do.
that's a bad idea because I have a therapist.
Well, I tell you things so that you tell your therapist, and then the therapist will tell it to you.
You're the middleman.
You're the middleman.
I don't know how comfortable I am with this one, folks. I mean, you guys can talk to us in the comment section. If we need someone to talk to, can we talk to you guys? Okay, probably not. Going back into the game. Game number 2. RRQ Akira, we're really thinking that this could be a 1-1. Game number 1, it went to 25 minutes. So, ban out Louis, first step. And then, if the Ling gets through again, I feel like is the least of the problems because one of the things that NFL is pretty good at is the Hayabusa as well. So,
Yeah.
one of the problems, if you take one problem, NFL's like, yo,
Yeah.
I got a lot of picks, fool.
Yeah. Technically, even the alpha could come out, right? I mean,
Yeah,
this
the
is
alpha
a
as
signature
well.
pick. This was the pick that actually gets banned most of the times. Not
Yeah.
the Ling in MPO Indonesia in the playoffs especially. So a lot of different picks you got to respect from EVOS Glory. I definitely understand the problem for RRQ Akira when they want to go for these respect bans. They're kind of already capped by how many power What is a power hero? When you're talking about EVOS Glory,
Yeah.
that comes to mind because almost everything for Anavel seems to be a power hero. This kid is
Yeah.
amazing, man. He's a prodigy. But even then, brands respect this Moskov.
Yeah, and also I think if I'm just gonna be considering all of the options, maybe the real power pick is the Turisla because it kind of is the glue
Yeah,
that ties
fluffy.
together. Like if you pick up the Turisla, you now have access to both side laners to have greedy picks. Like you can go for Moskov or Claude for brands, and then you can go assassins for Mr. Anavel. But then again, Turisla also has great combination and synergy with Fredrin, for example, with a ton of CC that then activates brands in the end. So I think when we're just talking about power picks, maybe it is the Turisla for EVOS Glory.
I mean, to be fair, he did make a lot of plays. And one thing that I do want to talk about, looks like this might be the new build for Turisla in case you guys are Turisla players. Go for the War Axe, go for the Queen's Wings, and then after that, freestyle. Do what you guys need to do.
Do what you want to do.
Go for the Winter Crown, man. Winter Crown is cool.
With the crown, foo.
Winter Crown, boom! But now we're going straight into the drafts here. RRQ Akira are going to be the first pick. EVOS
Absolutely.
Glory is going to be the second pick. It looks like RRQ Akira, you know what? We heard the Louis, that's why we banged the Ling.
Yeah, but again, they're on blue side, so this changes everything, right? Because they were on the red side, I would say the Loi ban would make sense. But now that they're on the blue side, hey, ban out the Ling, you get a chance to pick up the Loi. You're forcing EVOS Glory to ban it out by themselves here as they swap.
What could happen is that if they do give up the Lu Yi, there's a chance where EVOS picks up the Nolan because Faramis will not be open, Vexana will not be open. You're stuck with the Lu Yi. They still Arlet, and then maybe pick up Edith to go with it, or Arlet and Faramis maybe. There's a lot of options. Although I still feel that Lu Yi is still a power pick, so let's see how that goes.
I agree. I think RRQ Akira should be able to utilize it as well, man. In the mid lane, Sagan, he's always a team player, so if they really do want that singularity, if they want to be very together, the diversion certainly does help, but they will take away another global presence hero. So 3 heroes that have a lot of pressure on the map, man. Very good mobility with Angela, Ling, and now the Moskov. Really trying to take away that 4-1 formation that EVOS love to play with.
All right. So if EVOS, okay, so that's a Roger. Loi is there for RQ. The natural answer afterwards is Arlet, I would say. And then you pair it up with probably your jungler already, if your EVOs, like Fredrin Arlen. Looks really good going up against that Louis. But we'll see. Again, another assassin could be good. Like, or maybe Terizla should be the priority, right? So Terizla plus Nolan, somewhere along those lines. Oh, Valentina instead. This will not stop EVOS from picking up the Louis, but they might reserve it for the third pick. Right, so maybe they won't go Assassins now. They go Fredrin Arlet actually for EVOS
Actually,
with this kind of comp.
This is interesting. Valentina is a very strong pick, which has a very good win rate here in the ever since wildcard. But the thing is, do you go for a Valentina over a Louis? Maybe RRQ Akira. They already know certain picks is gonna get picked up so that they can still wait the ult. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so. And right now, technically, it does work in favor of them with the Valentino pick, right? The Edith comes out later on if the Loi does get picked up in the first phase, last pick in the first phase. That'll be trouble for RRQ. But as of right now, that's a good ultimate. One of the best ultimates to take as a Valentina in the early game. The Primal Wrath to be used up in the neutral objective fights.
Yeah. I wonder if there will be a chance where Lolita is going to be the pickup for RRQ Akira. However, the Fredrin now not being taken by RRQ is very interesting. But then, like we said, Loi could be the third pick for EVO's Glory because they're not pressed in that situation, already knowing that Valentina is up. RRQ without the Roger, do they take the... they still pick up the Grok and the Terizla. So they have revealed their hand. EVOS, still pretty much a Louis game for them.
Yeah. It should be the Loi. It should just be that pick for Clockun. But another way that they can take this draft is maybe possibly an X-Borg. That's something that Fluffy has been finding a whole lot of success with, especially now considering, you know, there are a lot of tanky, beefy boys on the side of RRQ Akira. It's already a different ball game at this point. So, interesting. X-Borg was actually the prio pick for Fluffy for the longest time in the regular season, and then they started getting banned, so he had to move over towards the Terizla, and then the Yuzong. Yuzong could also be a pick here. We haven't seen Yuzong in the first phase for a while. Right. I don't think we've seen it at all today.
Yeah.
I mean, it has been banned. It's just it hasn't been picked up at all. So, again, right now, looking at the picks, they pick up the Vexana. So far, looking at RRQ Akira going up against EVO's Glory, I would say the first three picks coming in from RRQ, it looks a little bit more solid because they already have their front line. So we can imagine how the setup is going to look like. They just need to build their comp with more damage compared to what EVO's Glory has. I guess it's a mix-up. You got some setup, you got some damage, but I kind of like the first three picks coming in from RRQ Akira.
Oh, that is interesting. The Vexana. I think that they just won't pick up the Louis anymore, especially because there's Terizla. And usually when there's like Terizla and Grok, you know that this is a frontline kind of composition where Vexana kind of flourishes. It's a front to back that RQ might be looking for.
Ooh.
And I really like this Nolan ban because we did say that Nolan is a valid pickup for EVOS eventually.
Yeah, the Nolan, any of these assassins that could come through, but they're going to actually ban out the carry and the Natan. So perhaps trying to look for...
Force them into a Beatrix?
Beatrix, yeah.
Forcing him into anything that can't go for Purify and Flicker, right? So you're kind of forced on just like a Flicker. Brody, Beatrix, those kind of pickups.
Yeah. There's this argument of the Irithel. Maybe if EVOS will not get another
Irithel?
I don't think so as well. I feel like Irithel takes too long. Like
she doesn't even do well in the late game.
Here's
from
the thing,
my experience.
Like if you want a goal leader that skills, perhaps just pick up a Beatrix.
Yeah, for sure.
Even
there could be a RQ can pick up Assassin, an Assassin actually. That's their last pick.
Yep.
Hayabusa looks really good, but that's also true for EVOS. But this time, Edith Vexana looks already super duper good. So maybe they'll just pick up Barrett or X-Borg, Minotaur. This
wow.
Edith going to the EXP.
Ooh.
Okay, so trying to just utilize the Annabelle pick for last.
What is a burst hero that can pierce through the Minotaur? So
maybe they pick up the X-Borg jungle or Dyaroff. Who knows?
Beatrix. How about Leslie though? There's not much.
Great in lane, yeah.
There's not much dive for EVOS.
But if the Hayabusa comes up, right? You go for Leslie and then the Hayabusa last pick. I guess that's why they're hiding Annabelle's pick here.
Yeah, I think you're left with Beatrix. No choice. And then What else is like Frederick doesn't look really nice. Baksha maybe for RRQ. Let's go back to the Baksha.
I'm
Baksha
just
Matrix.
worried they don't have that much damage. You know, you're really hoping for the Grok as well as the Valentina to really bring out the
Very true.
damage. So, I mean, a lot of control. A lot of control. Is just that when it comes to the damage, the Valentina kind of has to carry this one.
I don't know. For me, it definitely feels like for EVOS, they can actually go for something crazy here, like a Lancelot. If they don't go for Hayabusa, they could go for the Lancelot. We have seen Annabelle play this before as well. If they can't find any other assassin, they usually go for the Lancelot, just for the retry battle as well. Knowing that you already have a Minotaur, an Edith, and a Vexana, you want to have more prio when it comes around to the neutral objective. So I'm guessing either utility jungler, or they could go for that Lance.
So the jungler should be Barretts. I think their Lancelot should be good here. How about a Joy? I haven't seen that in a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Saw that in Wildcard. I think it was Chibi?
Yeah,
Chibi
but there's
played it.
there's
Chibi's
Valentina.
still-
Yeah, they go
Oh.
Exborg. Okay.
Expert jungle?
Jungle. Yeah.
I mean,
There
like,
you
again,
go.
look at RRQ Akira. They're very tanky. Makes
They
sense.
are.
Speaking of which, looking at both these drafts, I don't know, looking at like EVOS as well as RRQ Akira, at this point, even I'm not so sure what's going to happen between the drafts coming in from both teams, but let's see the oneness of both our casters casting this game. This is going to be the final game of today, so casters, take your space.
As one we shall. Thank you so much, LaFell, Mirko, and Wolf. Going into the final game of today's broadcast, welcome to Game 2 of RRQ Akira versus EVOS Glory. Once again, it's Gideon and Leo at your service.
This time around, the compositions are kind of interesting. I have to admit that RRQ Akira, they're bringing in some, again, we said 16 Cs on that Rizla before. Now it's way more with the RRQ Akira lineup.
I couldn't think you could go beyond 16.
Right?
And here they show us. That is definitely Takash, looking to be one of the frontliners alongside Luis and King, because that's what you need right now against EVOS Glory's lineup. Because, but here's what sucks, right? Since they are red side for the Kingdom, here's what sucks. Since EVOS Glory is red side, they got to pick up the Xborg, which will definitely shred through what's left of King, Takash, and Luis. When Dreams is done with the Minoan Fury.
Oh, yeah. I think that's not even the worst part, right? Because even if they do start the shred, let's talk about like the raw peel that they have in Clawhood, in Dreams, in Annabelle. I mean, Fluffy is by far the worst one when it comes down to the peel and initiation. Kind of depends on the situation, but regardless, right? That's just so much to get through. And unless RRQ Akira can find these big wombo combos, I think it's very possible, right? Like, I'm looking at Sagan. I'm expecting a Minoan Fury steal.
It's very rare that we actually see Valentina with so many ults to steal. I'm looking at 3 minimum, right? 3 juicy ults for Sagan to get to. And let's not forget to talk about Gusta Lagusta, right? Gusta Lagusta, what he Gusta want to do here is to find a spot where, oh, wait. That's a lot of damage on a Terizla at a minute and a half in.
It's fine. It looks like both went for like the hyper early rotation to try and hit 4 as soon as possible, but they both did not hit it. It's this wave here. They went 1 wave earlier just to fight for control.
All right, back to what I was saying, man. Gusta Lagusta, what he wants to do is to get Branch into the defensive position early to compromise that Blazing Duet intro later on. Right now, maybe they just trade blows. Maybe they just farm up out of their minds. That's the best way to go, but check it out. Turtle fight now, early on, Luis from the back.
Yeah, but here we go. Instantly, Clawhood is able to get on out of the Minoan Fury as well. The Eternal Guard has just dropped down, but that last Insanity is doing more than enough damage to start melting the members one by one. 2 already down, and RRQ Akira, they've flicked so many flickers, in a matter of fact, have been expended to dodge that raw damage.
If only the game ended at 2.5, that was it. RRQ Akira wins, right? If all you need to do is take a turtle and kill 2 opponents, then that's it. But how do you translate? That's the question. I think that's what RRQ Akira had trouble doing in Game 1.
I
right?
agree, yeah.
They had a good control of the early to mid, and then eventually they forgot, oh wait, Annabelle is just snowballing out of control. Now though, they're on to a great start. Getting how often you see 3 minutes in, 2 kills up, about 2,000 gold ahead. How often do you get this?
I mean, I'm probably the wrong person to ask this question to. I'm from a region where it's pretty often. It happens all the time. But here comes the rest of the team. Great last insanity to dodge for a majority of that damage. But without that Faraga armor, it does mean that RRQ Akira can walk up pretty freely.
There you go. King just stealing away, paying the iron price from Anavel's farm. And here's the thing, man. Usually you see an X-Borg in the jungle, you go like, oh yeah, it's one of the more sustainable, low-cost junglers. Nay, I say to thee, nay. You need more items to make a difference, because if not, you're a one-time last insanity kind of hero. Because after that, you're nothing.
Yeah, this is starting to sound like Hooberstank real quick, man. But I think that for the most part of it, EVOS Glory should be able to control the tempo, right? The onus does feel like it's on RRQ to make things happen fast in this game.
Yep. So now, I think they're poised to do just that. I think they can force out certain responses, given that Turtle has spawned up top. And no, I don't think they see this. I don't think they know that the river is rife with RRQ Akira troops. Like, river control at this early stage of the game isn't as important as it is like in a Lord Dance, but with rotations like this,
oh, look at the blitz. Look at the blitz. So fast. They clean it up without any issues whatsoever, and they instantly utilize the rotation with the help of the speed, river flow. There's no direct term for it, but essentially the buff that gives you extra movement speed when you're heading back to your lanes once you're done with the neutral. And with that being said, they even bother walking into EVOS Glory's jungle just to scout out the positions, right? It does give us an idea that RRQ Akira might want to, well, turn up the tempo a little bit more. Oh, Sagan, he might be in some trouble here. Force the flicker away. Doesn't get hit by the Fear King. Is able to peel them off just in time. Now, the scouting mission, the recon is done.
as Mr. Wagner would say, it's the fear. It's the fear that's keeping them in check, because that could have definitely been lethal for Saigon. Now they clap back, forcing out one from Anavel, popping his immortality.
Yep, that Bandit's Rage is looking so very good, but now Anavel, he can't get out of it. He lost everything, all of his resources. Firaga armor on top of the early immortality, all down the drain.
And with that, RRQ Akira just grow their lead even more. Gideon, we're looking at 3,000 head. 3 for 3 now, not even 6 minutes in.
I think this is just a great hard read from the side of RRQ Akira, and Luis, he's doing so much on this Grok, something that EVOS Glory might have to think about. But when do we expect EVOS Glory to actually bounce back?
Here's the thing. In game 1, they were playing with a jungle Ling, right? They were playing with a core assassin in the jungle, and the slower it goes, the better it is for them. But now, I don't know, they're just really waiting on brands. They're waiting on brands. I don't know if Clawcoon is the right person to look at. If you're looking at like a mid to late game power spike, sure, Vixanas are great. Clawcoon is a very talented individual. But just looking at the tapestry of skills that RRQ Akira is able to bring out at any point in the game, it's so hard to see how EVOS Glory could win in the late game, man.
Well, here's the thing. My only concern for RRQ Akira is that they have no means to protect themselves against CC. No, I'm not seeing enough purifies here. I'm seeing a lot of flickers.
There's zero purifies, actually.
That's the thing. And that's why I feel like EVOS Glory, they could really punish somebody here if not for Luis. The Bennett's Rage already out. Fluffy is able to get out of there with the help of the Primordial Form. But now, Anavel, he's trying to breathe. Let him go. They won't let him escape the damage. And even Dreams is forced to flicker on out of there. Brands is going to unleash the Blazing Duet to say no more. Please stop. This is my offer to you.
They don't ruin that boy.
Oh.
Anavel has been having a rough 7 minutes, man.
He has.
And there's nothing EVOS Glory is putting on the table. Again, I'm going to say it now, in before, this just turns out to be an anime protagonist arc, wherein in the early episodes, he gets beaten down, and then he learns a lesson from some authority figure, and then they figure it out. And who that is, I'm looking at brands. Again, I mentioned it earlier, it's got to be brands. It's got to come from brands.
Until he gets that Trinity build, you can just see that brands is them just like, it's just tickling them a little, right? There's just not enough time to buy as of right now, considering that Gusta Logusta is just chunking down these towers.
But here's the thing, Gideon. RRQ Akira ain't gonna stop to wait until Brands gets his Trinity. There's no honor here. There's just violence.
It's just raw violence.
Wait, where's he at now? He's at, he's just at 1. He's just at DHS.
Yep. I mean, Brands is having a really rough time here. I think that maybe RRQ Akira, if they can secure this next Lord, and if they can break open an inhibitor, they can set up for a checkmate angle. And that would be very surprising to see, especially against EVOS Glory. They like to play slow, but most importantly, they trade very effectively. Right now, they haven't been able to get anything back. Oh! Luis with a flicker and the wild charge. Gusta Lagusta capitalizes on the combo, and the rest of them, oh, wait, no, it's actually pretty good. The Eternal Guard does help Fluffy find one, and they get a double off of it. Clockhood able to capitalize himself. Good wombo combos.
They were way too together there. They were more than
Together.
They were more than together because, again, that wouldn't have happened and that wouldn't have been as bad as it was if it wasn't for how clumped up they are. And, again, I don't blame them. A wild charge in as deep as that, but you do face off against the last entirety that popped up perfectly, and then the fire missiles, and don't even mention the Primal Wrath. That's what allowed for the gap to be closed. Asterisk, you're still looking at a 7K gold lead.
It is a 7K gold lead, and this very first Lord is going to be very important to steal for EVOS Glory, right? To buy some time. And now the burst comes through. King gets it. The Eternal Guard comes down just a little too late.
It was a mile within a light year's gap between RRQ Akira and EVOS Glory. The Kingdom versus the EVOS fam. The eternal battle that never ends. You guys know the name. You guys, I'm not even gonna say, but you guys know.
You just feel that vibe, feel that energy. You just know, as Leo says, it's coming to that point. It's getting to that checkmate angle.
Yep, we're close to it. And I was gonna say, if they do find that, again, that Lord take into an inhibitor push, I'd give RRQ Akira maybe a 95% win rate. Like, that's gotta be it.
I mean, the guest coin odds are not looking good for some people here, as now they're going to start knocking on their door. Let's see how much they get off of this, right? Because we're expecting out of tier targets, tier 2s, be gone.
Clean, but the inhibitors, that's what makes the difference. Annabelle gonna get his Firaga armor popped. Does have an immortality. Fire missiles off as he backs away.
Yeah, he ended up, well, I mean, he ended up losing his Firaga armor, but that's kind of a good thing. He doesn't take the damage of Bennett's Rage. Now he just put back his armor on once he gets back to base, and oh, what a dirty trick. Luis just slowing down the Lord to synchronize these waves, and now it's a huge wave crashing down by the inhibitor. The Eternal Guard does come down, but it ends up getting blown to bits straight away. EVOS Glory maintained their high ground defense.
Interesting small micro decision there done by Saigen. He stole the Primal Wrath, turned into a Fluffy's Edith for just a second, hoping to time out the Primal Wrath armorless form so that he would get extra CCs. But that would only be if they barreled down that turret and then won the fight. But again, they played a defensive play, and much respect. That's discipline.
Yeah, honestly, both of these teams are like extremely disciplined. We haven't seen too many coin flips, honestly, from the side of RRQ Akira. I feel like I've seen more coin flips in game number 1 from EVOS Glory, to be fair.
But those were coin flips that were necessary. They needed to do that to be able to put Annabelle over the top. And now, again, now that they're on the back foot, what are we looking at? Oh dear Lord, I did not expect 12,000. That's 12. Is that 12,000?
No, that's 7,000.
That's 7. All right, cool.
That's 7,000.
My math is off.
Don't worry, but honestly, a 7,000
close.
gold lead, it's getting pretty bad, right? We're on the cusp of it, like, being an overflowing lead for RRQ Akira. And
I was
in
looking
25
elsewhere.
seconds. Oh, you're looking elsewhere? 25 more seconds. Oh, sorry, 20 seconds, actually, until the next Lord does spawn. And we do see the corrosive side purchase from Brands. Hopefully that buys this team a little bit of time.
That's a third item right there.
Oh,
Is it? Is that the Trinity? Can we say now that the King of Marksman is online? But who's he gonna find in the back? Best case scenario, Gusta Lagusta. But Gusta Lagusta can just flicker out of there and he's still an item up.
Yeah, I think the worst part is that anybody can CC him. Luis, Takashi, King, Sagan, like anybody can hurt Brands until he gets his situationals, right? We're waiting for the Winter Crown, right? We're waiting for the Winds of Nature.
That's 4 sources of CC, you're right, Gideon. He's overloaded. He's overloaded. Check it out. That's 1, 2, 3. That's it. Yep, definitely. So he's built into his Trinity compared to Gusta Lagusta, who is on his way to his 4th core item after the BOD.
Man, this is like a really unfun game for Brands, right? Like he's just waiting for things to happen. He's waiting for RRQ Akira to make a mistake, and everybody else on the side of EVOS Glory just wants to take a traditional front to back. But as soon as RRQ Akira grab you, they hold you, and Gusta Logusta just pushes you over.
And now the Lord. Oh, here we go. An early Last Insanity from Annabelle. Not going to save this inhibitor, though. Just need one more hit in. Ooh.
That's fine.
They're not going to force it. I love the discipline, though. Proving me wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically as good as gone at this point, right? Anybody can just walk up, auto-attack it. It's basically going to break. You can take the wave, sure, but at the end of it, it's going to go down. Sagan finds it, and now the rest. Oh, Last Insanity coming up from Annabelle, and Dreams might be in some trouble. He flickers out of there, but the penalty tone from Takashi is going to tell him, hey, no, we don't want you to leave just yet. Last Insanity stole it from Sagan, able to find one, and Brad, oh, he ends up getting blown up by Gusta Lagusta. Wait, no, this can't be the end game. This can't end just like that. EVOS Glory on high ground defense duty once more.
Oh, it's just Luis who's very low. Everyone else from RRQ Akira fresh, ready to fight underneath tier 3 in mid. Annabelle still keeping his Firaga armor.
Oh, he's trying his best. He needs to get that armor back up to use the Last Insanity and clear the waves, but they can take their time here. Takashi, he's taking a lot of damage, has to use the penalty zone to get out of there.
That's a DPZ if I've ever seen one.
Big DPZ.
They do have a minute to wait until an Enhanced Lord spawns in the upper quarter, and I think that's fine. At 14 minutes, when the Lord does spawn, it'll be about 15. I think they're still good. Now you're looking at, okay, can't confirm, this is 10,000 gold, right?
Yes,
10,000 in between. I think they're okay. I think they can afford to wait for this Lord and then go for the GG push. So now, right now, I'm calculating in the absence of our real-time win rate AI, about an 80% win prediction rate for RRQ Akira.
We need to get a graphic for that. Leo's prediction win rate right on screen at some point in the broadcast. Now, I think that, yes, I agree with you that they kind of need to rush this down, though. As soon as that 22 seconds expires, the Lord is up. Hey, start working at it, right? Get EVOS Glory to come out of their base, but they can't drag it too long. Because keep in mind, EVOS Glory, once they hit 42K, the 42K mark, then they can pretty much go toe-to-toe with RRQ Akira, with the exception of no situational items to swap out.
But they are far from it. Again, 5 seconds from now, there's no way you're farming up 5K. There's no way.
Let's see how long RRQ... I mean, who would have the big shutdown at this point? Hold on. The combos are coming up, and Fluffy loses his immortality straight away. Minoan... Oh, the motivational roar is going to keep him alive, but Annabelle doesn't mind taking his time with this. Building up that heat is a good idea, but without an immortality, this can get dangerous very fast.
Oh, he might go for the gambit here. Might go for the Last Standing Retribution. There's the knock-up.
All right, the Known Fury and Flicker is out. And RRQ Akira, they've got smiles across their faces. They know for a fact that EVOS Glory, without that big ult, without that battle spell, and an exposed crystal, this is going to be the GG push.
Lord's going to be spawning up top. Worst case scenario, RRQ Akira pops all inhibitors. That's minimum, all right? Minimum. Best case scenario, it's over. I can only imagine what's going on through EVOS Glory's mind. Again, number one is wave management, right? Clear the waves, make sure minions don't crash in. They know that they're going to lose both inhibitors. Best case scenario is they might even get the punish. Now, you ask the question, who could they pop the piñata on? Who could they shut down? Because they spread out the kills very well.
They do. And here we go. The end game might just ensue faster than we would like to imagine here. High ground defense for the side of EVOS Glory as this Lord, penalty zone actually getting on top of Fluffy. Fluffy can't get out of there. Quickly flickers away, even using the Primal Wrath as well. The Known Fury coming out from Dreams, but that means RRQ just push backwards and then re-engage into this fight. They're trying to zone them off, but there's not enough minions to make it work. The raw sustain from Dreams with that motivational roar is keeping them in this game.
RRQ Akira keeping EVOS Glory within an inch of their life. 17 minutes in, 8-2. You're looking at a, now can confirm, 12K gold lead. Man, this is why they call this match the oldest time matchup, man. It's a rivalry that spans regions. I mean, sure, same franchise, different team, but who'd have thought that RRQ Akira, not RRQ Hoshi, would put off a fight as good as they are against EVOS Glory?
People are going to be talking about this to their young ones when they go and tuck them in for bed. Oh my goodness, where did that Firaga armor go? Sagan has so much damage. What was that?
I mean, after a wild charge plus a few right clicks, a few basic attacks, and again, with the 12K gold lead notwithstanding, best believe that Farag armor is going to pop, but good news, at least he still has his immortality. So, you know, no harm done.
Yeah, no harm, no foul. And I think at this point, as much as I would like to say that the checkmate angle has been achieved, I think that RRQ might need to actually roll the dice a little against EVOS Glory. If not, how else are you going to risk it for the Mystic to close out this game if nothing is happening? Very minimal interactions between the two. The most is that you get resources, but you need to go above and beyond if you want to close out this game.
All right, so here's one possible theory, right? One possible solution. They bait out these big-time CCs and then use the Purify. I think that's the main difference between these two lineups, right? These two comps is EVOS Glory invested in Purifies. RRQ Akira invested mad dollars into Flickers. So what if they're able to nullify that advantage and bait out these engagements from RRQ Akira and Purify and then punish?
I think the biggest problem is that EVOS Glory's comp doesn't hold space very well. They're good at taking and backing away, right? Giving and taking all the time. But RRQ Akira, they're very good at taking and sitting on top of the space, right? So that's when the BMI needs to be, well, hopefully not in a visible spot, because that means RRQ Akira are going to start creeping up. And once King is on top of that BMI, I'm sure as hell the Brands does not want to take it back. But here we go. The wild charge looking kind of good here. King still has a good chunk of his life, but in back, Takashi just threatening from every single angle. They do not want EVOS Glory anywhere near the pit.
That's right. I was going to say, even if the wild charge has been committed by Luis, there's still a penalty zone waiting, cocked and loaded, plus a flicker. I'm pretty sure EVOS Glory is aware of that, plus a flicker. Now, we're waiting for more to come in. This is about to go ahead and collapse.
All right, here we go. They're going for the rush. Oh, Dreams flickers in with the Gnome Fury as well to catch all four, but really not enough damage. Last Insanity doesn't connect on the right targets, but Takashi finds four! BMI into the back line, and quickly, Winter Crowns are being popped, but it's too late. The damage has been done, and RRQ Akira will run down the last remaining members of EVOS Glory.
Astro Thunder live in Riyadh, about to go ahead and end this series at 1-1.
You can never count out Latam. RRQ Akira take a game from EVOS Glory. GG, well played.
On this very broadcast, that is the first series to actually go the distance. What was it? 25 minutes. 25. Game 1, 25 minutes. Game 2, shy of 20?
Yeah.
And then we end at 1-1.
Yeah, and it had one of the lowest kill counts we've seen thus far.